Welcome back. There are people who say they can enter other people's dreams. But what if I told you that there are teenagers who do this regularly? Well, welcome to my channel. And today we are going to be talking about dream catchers. In the quiet town of Hollow Creek lived two best friends, 16-year-old Riley Cooper and 17-year-old Maya Singh. They were an unlikely pair. Riley, with his sandy blonde hair and athletic build, was the star quarterback of the local high school team, while Maya, with her long dark hair and love for poetry, was anything but sporty. But their friendship was unbreakable, forged in the fires of middle school, and strengthened by their shared love for old horror movies. One night while watching a particularly cheesy slasher flick, Riley turned to Maya and said, "I wish we could just go into people's dreams and stop them from having nightmares." Maya, never one to take anything literally, replied with a playful shove. "Don't be ridiculous. That's just fantasy." But Riley couldn't help but wonder what it would be like to enter someone's dreams. Little did they know that their seemingly crazy idea was closer to reality than they could ever imagine. The next day at school, they learned that their classmate, Emily Carter, known for her beautiful artwork and quiet nature, hadn't been attending classes. Rumors swirled around the school, but no one knew the real reason behind Emily's absence. That evening, unable to shake the thought of Emily off his mind, Riley decided to visit her house. He stood on the porch, about to knock when he heard a muffled sob from inside. He turned to leave. A window upstairs caught his attention. It was slightly open, revealing Emily sitting on a bed with tear-streaked makeup and tousled hair. Before he could call out to her, Riley felt a sudden pull. The world around him started to spin, and before he knew it, he found himself floating above Emily's bed. Startled, he looked down and saw that he had transformed into a creature resembling a humanoid fox with a flowing white tail. This wasn't a dream. He could feel his heartbeat echoing in his ears, loud and real. Ow! And then he saw Maya beside him, also in the form of a fox. She was grinning from ear to ear. "Told you we could do it," she whispered, her voice filled with awe. As they watched, Emily's form began to change. She became a majestic white wolf, and then a nightmare creature emerged from beneath her bed. It took the form of a grotesque wolf, its fur matted and eyes glowing an eerie green. Suddenly, Emily woke up in her bed with a gasp. Riley and Maya immediately vanished, returning to their human forms. Confused and scared, Emily got out of bed and went to her window, looking out into the night. She could have sworn she saw two figures with glowing tails disappearing into the darkness. Meanwhile, Riley and Maya found themselves back on the street in front of Emily's house. Stunned by what they had just experienced, they didn't realize they had both changed back until they heard a twig snap. They whipped around, their instincts taking over. In a flash, they were in their animal forms, ready to pounce. A small brown rabbit hopped out from behind a bush. Startled by the sudden appearance of the two predators, it bolted and disappeared down a hole. Riley and Maya quickly calmed down, realizing it was just an ordinary rabbit. However, when they tried to shift back into their human forms, they struggled. As if sensing their confusion, a sleek black cat with emerald eyes emerged from the shadows. It gracefully leaped onto a nearby tree, regarding them with an air of amusement. The cat meowed once, a sound that seemed to echo in their minds. "You must be the dream catchers," it said, its voice surprisingly deep. Startled by the talking cat, Riley and Maya instinctively took a step back. "How do you know our names?" Maya asked suspiciously. The cat jumped down from the tree and walked towards them. "I am Midnight," it purred, "and I have been watching you. You have the ability to enter people's dreams. But you need to understand your powers better." Riley and Maya exchanged glances. Despite their confusion, they knew they couldn't deny the truth. They had seen Emily's nightmare, and they had the power to help her. Midnight led them through the forest, occasionally answering their questions about their powers. As they journeyed, Riley and Maya learned that they weren't just any dream catchers. They were soul shifters, capable of entering the dream world and shifting into different animal forms based on their desires and emotions. Each animal represented different strengths and abilities that they could use in the dream world. They reached a clearing and Midnight stopped, turning to face them. "This is the border between the waking world and the dream world," It explained, Chet, you can enter the dream world through the minds of those who are sleeping, but you must be careful. The dream world is full of wonders, but also dangers. And sometimes the line between dreams and nightmares is thin indeed. With that, midnight disappeared, leaving Riley and Maya to contemplate what they had learned. They knew they had to act fast. Emily's nightmare was still out there, and they needed to find her before it consumed her. Hand in hand, they approached a slumbering Emily's house. Once inside the dream world, they found themselves in a vast and ever-changing landscape. They soared through the sky on the back of giant birds, ran through fields of shimmering flowers, and swam in crystal-clear waters. The dream world was a place where anything was possible. But as they journeyed, they sensed a growing darkness, a disturbance in the balance of the dream world. Suddenly, they came across a group of children who were trapped in a cage made of twisted branches. One of the children, a young girl with pigtails, cried out, "Help us! We can't get out!" Riley and Maya exchanged glances. They knew they had to help the children, but they also knew that the nightmare creature was getting stronger with each passing moment. Using their combined strength, they broke the cage and freed the children. As they watched the grateful kids run away, Riley and Maya continued on their path. They had to reach Emily before it was too late. They finally spotted Emily's nightmare in the distance. It was a terrifying creature that seemed to feed on Emily's fears. As they got closer, they realized that Emily was trapped inside a cage of thorns. Without hesitation, Riley and Maya shifted into their animal forms. Riley, now a powerful wolf, lunged forward, distracting the nightmare creature. Meanwhile, Maya, as an agile lynx, crept closer to the cage, looking for a way in. The battle was fierce, but Riley and Maya fought bravely. Finally, Maya found a loose thorn and managed to pry the cage open. Emily, who had taken the form of a beautiful white deer, stepped out and joined the fight. Together, they were able to weaken the nightmare creature. However, it wasn't over yet. The creature, with a final surge of strength, unleashed a wave of darkness at them. Riley and Maya, along with Emily, braced themselves, but they were knocked unconscious. When they awoke, they found themselves back in Emily's room. Sunlight streamed through the window, indicating that it was daytime. Emily, shaken but unharmed, sat up in bed. She looked at Riley and Maya, who were also waking up. I don't remember much, she said, her voice trembling. But thank you, you saved me. They all left the room quietly, each lost in their thoughts. They had saved Emily, but they knew their work was far from over. There were other dreamers out there who needed their help. From that day on, Riley, Maya, and Emily became known as the Dream Catchers. They continued to hone their powers, learning to control their animal forms and strengthen their bonds with each other. Their adventures in the dream world were filled with challenges, but they faced them all together, knowing that their friendship and powers were the key to defeating any nightmare. Together, they balanced the scales of dreams and nightmares, bringing peace to those who slept. And so the legend of the Dream Catchers continued, passed down through generations of dreamers. A reminder that even in the darkest of nightmares, hope and friendship could prevail. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a thumbs up. Also, let us know in the comments which character is your favorite. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future uploads.